Some of our favorite reporters and friends. NBC News White House correspondent Vaughn Hillyard is here. Plus, New York Times correspondent Teddy Schleifer is here. His focus is on billionaires and their impact on the world. Also joining us is former Obama Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes, too many people. Let me just speak for myself. I needed a reminder and a refresher of how important USAID is. Will you give us that real quick?
Yeah, and it's not just the things that you read off, Nicole, which most Americans might think of as worthy humanitarian objectives. There's very significant national security objectives tied to USAID. It's not just textbooks for Ukrainian children. It was the kind of sustainment of the Ukrainian government when it was in its most dire circumstances that USAID carried out in areas where we have significant counterterrorism challenges. Places like Somalia, where you have Al-Shabaab. It's USAID money that tries to build up a local capacity that can deal with long-term security challenges. Obviously, to take a recent example, pandemic preparedness. USAID is out in the field trying to stop epidemics before they reach American shores. So there's a whole range of dangers that USAID is meant to address by being essentially preventive medicine. It's cheaper to spend money on USAID than it is to spend money on a military intervention or on a pandemic. I think the other important national security interest that people should keep in mind is that China spends a ton of money on international development. This has been the centerpiece of their effort to build influence in the world over the last decade or two. You go to Africa, you go to the African Union, the most important political institution in Africa. It was built, the headquarters, by China. China builds roads. China builds infrastructure across places like Africa to gain influence. If the United States just withdraws things like health programming and food security programming, yes, that's going to cause people to die. Let's make no mistake, from a humanitarian perspective, lives are at risk. But also, we're essentially just saying to the rest of the world, yeah, go with the Chinese international order. We're out of business here in the United States. And that will have massive medium and long-term consequences for U.S. interests, whether it's geopolitical interests, whether it's natural resource interests. It's essentially ceding the whole globe to China and other countries to fill the space that was once filled by the United States of America. So this is not just, cutting some feel-good programs. This is life-saving assistance, but it's also incredibly strategic national security interests of the United States, which, Elon Musk just seems to care less about, and Donald Trump as well.